So today we're working on lesson number 6. We are just starting our unit on solving equations and inequalities. So before we get started on that part, we have to review what an equation is and what a solution actually means. So for down here, we have first equation. We use this word a lot. An equation is just a statement that has an equal sign in it. So when you have an equation, you have your equal sign, and then on each side is some type of expression. An expression doesn't have an equal sign. So you can use letters, you can use numbers. So for example, if I write 6 equals 6, that's an equation. If I write x equals 6, that's an equation. If I write 2 plus 3 equals 5, that's an equation. Now, a solution is if you substitute something into both sides of the equation will be true. So let me do an example for this. So if I have an equation, x plus 2 equals 5. Now, hopefully you can do this in your head. What number plus 2 equals 5? Well, we know that's 3. We're not going to get into how we did that. That comes in the next lesson. But if I write x equals 3, this right here is our solution. And the reason why is if I substitute this in, 3 plus 2 equals 5, and then I simplify each side, both sides are equal. Our equation is true. So true and solution go hand in hand. So now let's move a little bit farther down. We're going to test these things and see if these values are solutions. So this first example right here, it says, is x equals 3 a solution to that equation? Now, a lot of you probably already are very good at solving equations, but we're just going back, remember, and reviewing what a solution actually means. So what I'm going to do is take this possible value and substitute it into this equation. Remember, 3x means 3 times x. So I'm going to do 3 times x, which is our 3, plus 2 equals 8. I am not solving. I'm just checking to see if this is a solution. So now I'm going to evaluate that left side. You can do it in your head. You can type that in the calculator. It doesn't matter. 3 times 3 plus 2 is 11. 11 does not equal 8. That is a false statement. So since that's false, x equals 3 is not a solution. Now take a second and plug this in. Pause the video, give it a try, and then come back and check your work. So what I did here is I substituted a 2 in for x. 3 times 2 plus 2. And when I evaluate, 3 times 2 is 6, plus 2 is 8. Well, this equation is true. Both sides are equal. So it's a true. So this is a solution. Hooray. So now let's move down here. This is just a quick review, and again, in the next lesson, we'll go into more detail. Use what you remember from 8th grade about solving equations to solve for x. Now we're going to use our algebra rules to solve for x. There's our equal to sign. There's like an invisible barrier where the equal to sign is. It's like a brick wall. We got to jump over it. So to move things from one side of the equation to the other side of the equation, you have to do the opposites. You have to do inverses. So I'm going to subtract 2 on both sides. Whatever you do on one side of the equation, you have to do it on the other side. Now I'm going to bring everything down. The 3x comes down. 2 minus 2, that canceled out. And then 8 minus 2 is 6. Remember, 3x means 3 times x. So to get that x by itself, you have to do the opposite of times, which means divide. Now, I don't like the way that looks. You could write the division symbol like that, but usually I write it like that. A fraction bar means divide. So those cancel out. 3 divided by 3 is a 1. 1x equals 2. And look, we used algebra to find x equals 2. And up above, we had already checked it. We knew that was a solution. So checking our answer is the same thing. You plug your possible answer 2 in here. And then you evaluate it. 8 equals 8. True. I'm just going to do a T. So this right here is a check. Now, the next video, we are going to use our graphing calculator to solve equations. And we're going to do the same equation. This is going to be new. So please take your time watching the video, especially if you missed class. And I'll check back with you in about a minute.